breakthroughs, right? We need zero knowledge proofs to actually start showing up in stuff. Like I theoretically told the story of the ID and why, your daughter doesn't need to show her address to the bouncer, but like we need that shit to start happening.
Yeah.
The CEO of Microsoft talked about, blockchain and crypto needs its chat GPT.
Yeah, I saw that, and he's right.
Yeah. I thought it was NFTs last year, and I still am a big believer in NFTs. We just invested more money in a project called Candy. And I do think NFTs are going to play a big part of it.
Digital ID is the big one for me, I think. That's the billion people unlock.
Yeah. And we'll get there. It's just, for every guy running a business, God, I'd like to think we get there in the next 2 to 3 years, or I'm, going to be gurgling from underwater, right? And weirdly, and I've told my staff this, you have to believe, not that Bitcoin's going to 100,000 or 200,000, but it is going to be higher than 20 in 2 years' time, or this is too painful a place to work. Not Galaxy, the industry, right? So we do need adoption. We do need those communities to grow, people to believe, because that's what funds the technology growth. That's what funds the momentum of drawing smart people in.
You sound like you're a bit shaken up still, though, because it's been...
Listen, I am angry, but I just invested $45 million in a Israeli security company called GK8, which we think is world class. That's going to help us be a SaaS player, in essence, providing solutions to people for their own personal custody or their company custody. We invested $100 million in a mining facility in Texas, and so infrastructure we're leaning into. We did other loans. We invested money into Candy, which is a big NFT platform, and so I spent a decent chunk of change in December. I being we at Galaxy.
Yeah.
And that wasn't without a lot of thought, right? Like the simple hedge fund solution would have been fire everybody, bunker down, liquefy your assets and trade your way out until the bull market starts, right? And of course that goes through your head. Can we build an organization that we're proud of that sits in the center, are part of the center of institutional participation in this, and is it going to be worth a lot if we do it? Like, we chose the harder path, and so we're betting with our money.
I still think, I still speak to the institutions. They're still all interested in the space.
We did a webinar yesterday. We had 600 people on it. I was like, can you guys each give me $1?
But I don't see a lack of interest. They're just gun shy. And you know what institutions are like.
Think about the two big Canadian pension funds. 2 of the 4 big Canadian pension funds made big investments into crypto in 2021. 400 or 300 million into Celsius and 400 million into FTX. Both zeros within 6 months of making the investment. And so you got to be pretty stinking brave to be a Canadian pension fund guy to say, hey, I'm next. And so it's just it's so unfreaking fortunate that, people got caught up in the frenzy and fraudulence, because you don't know how many times me and my team have made presentations to Canadian pension funds and been there. This is starting in 2014. Dan Moore was going up there, I think, in 13. And to kind of get them all engaged, because always their employees were engaged, and then to have black eye, it's going to take a lot of courage for the next guy to make an investment.
But I do think they're kind of short upside calls because, they're mainly momentum guys, right? So maybe not in the VC side for a bit, but in the market side, my guess is if ETH's trading at 3,000 and they can get a yield, they'll be herding into the space right now when they should be buying it.
Why I said, like, if I was a field general, I would be doing, the Braveheart speech to all the retail guys out there. Crypto needs the retail participants to come back to these communities, to buy in, to believe, to drive price, because that's what's going to get institutions back engaged. Institutions intellectually understand this business. They had blockchain versus Bitcoin versus Ethereum. They've done all their homework. They're gun shy. It is going to take energy, price. Energy is price. And so why, there was this announcement today that the DOJ was going to, and I was like,
everyone was like, it's Binance, it's Binance.
Like, please don't have it be Binance. Please don't. Listen, we need to cheer for Binance. Like we do. They are 60% of the liquidity, or 40, some giant percentage of the liquidity. CZ has been always very focused on customer service. And so he's got a very loyal, giant retail following that believe in our ecosystem. Like, we need those guys. And it drives me crazy how many people on Twitter and other media, just want to smash people down and would be nothing happier than if CZ, stepped on a banana peel and slipped on his ass. It's the wrong thinking. We need CZ to succeed, right? In fact, we need Galaxy to succeed.
And what's your sense of where DC is now? Because they've just got a bloody chin from this whole thing.
Yeah, I think the Republicans, McHenry, who's running the banking committee now, Tom Emmer is a great fan of crypto, who's the majority whip from Minnesota. I think they are pro-crypto, and they're going to take Gensler across the coals for his performance at the SEC, and it's going to be pretty political. I think, unfortunately, the Democrats, who were all becoming crypto people, they were like, it was going to be bipartisan, now feel like, oh, I got to back away because they got Sam Bankman-Fried's stake overall. I actually read that Sam gave money to 70% of all congressmen.
I know.
And so that part of it, I think, is going to make it harder for Dems to be like, oh yeah, crypto's great. It'll burn through, and the faster.
What about the fight between the CFTC and the SEC? Because that needs to get resolved for everybody, right?
Yeah, I think that's on hold for a while. They're both like, we never said that. Listen, they were both very, very close with Sam. And again, a lot of people were, and a lot of people got snookered. But Sam was negotiating to pretty much have dominance of a cash exchange that the CFTC regulates. And the SEC was going to bless that as long as they got to do, non-Bitcoin and Ether. And so there was this negotiation going on that was this close to getting done. And so I think they're both just trying to stay as far away from it as possible.